Good evening, everybody. Spark here. Yeah, so today I'm just kind of going over some things that have happened in the last couple months, some findings and some things that have happened, and just want to know what you guys think. I mean, so as you know, as I've said many times, I got a cross from God and a rash, a white cross in the middle of a red rash. A couple years back, like a year exactly before Easter, on the 19th of April at 8:05 p.m. And I actually started reading the Bible a few weeks before that for the first time. So it all falls in line in the scope of things. And I repented a few weeks before that. So I repented back in March, and then by middle of April, I received a cross from God. And the thing is what does the cross mean? What is it? What what does it mean? Obviously the most significant thing and the most the honorable thing is to be able to glorify God with receiving the cross, and then also sharing that with you folks, which is on my YouTube page. So that's the most important thing is to be able to do that is just a huge thing in itself. I mean, we could stop right there, and then and that would be it. But I'm not, the buck stops here. I'm not that kind of guy. And as you know, we've been reading, and we also been discovering, like last year we discovered there was going to be a drought, and then there was a huge drought in the fall. And I'm going to upload a video of the grass in the back being like totally brown, not even any sign of green anywhere. So it was interesting to discover, God had told me, I guess, that we were going to have a drought, and then the drought occurred. And I'll pair that with the two times I read in the Bible, where I read on the 3rd of July, which is posted on YouTube, and and Jesus died during that reading, and I learned about a future Daniel the prophet, and I am Daniel in that reading. But that same day, the Colorado River turned blood red. That same day, that was very significant to me, and it made me think, well, maybe I'm the future Daniel the prophet, right? So it definitely, because of other things too, because of other readings that I've done, like for instance, my first reading in May was when all the eruptions started. May 1st was the same day, okay? And it talks about, the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet. So it kind of just started adding up to me as far as that's concerned. So I put pieces of the puzzle together, sort of. So, and then I read on August 5th, which I think is like 7 or 8 times at this point. And I read John, and John 1 and John 2, or John 1, and I read that on August 5th. Now that same day, I found out the Galilee Sea, which is big in the Bible, turned blood red that same day. So we've had 2 occasions out of 7 or 8 where, we've got bodies of water turning blood red, and that doesn't happen every day, does it? No, it doesn't. So the probability of that is like next to nothing, right? So we've got a huge question mark there as to like what is it adding up to, because we had this huge drought at my house, and the biggest drought in Florida and almost in history, and I said it back in June that Florida was going to experience a serious drought, and the summer, and it ended up lasting into the fall and winter and stuff like that, and it ended up being one of the biggest droughts in history, if not the biggest. In certain areas, it was the biggest drought. So there's that we're obviously getting towards Revelation, right? So the cross has got to mean something probably towards Revelations. So of course, I haven't read them all yet. I've read through 15 now. And when I read Revelation 1 through 3, actually it snowed, sleeted, rained, and flooded all in the same day in Italy last summer. So that was really interesting that happened. We've had significant things happen during my readings. One was June 23rd, and it started 44 inches of rain over in China, which 44 inches of rain. 44 is a big number in the Bible. It's a big number, and stuff like that. We've had a ton of things happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of tell you what some of the things that I think might be possible that's going on here. So if we look at Revelations 11 and number 6, okay? Number 6. These have the power to shut off heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. So what have we had recently? We've had the COVID plagues, right? Yeah, we had those, and then 2 bodies of water turned blood red during my readings. I mean, it's posted on those dates, so you can't argue, and there's no way for me to know ahead of time that's going to happen. So, that happened. You know what I'm saying? So we've got that going on. So, and then the drought, the huge drought we just had, and it seems like, the drought was like the biggest in my house. I mean, I had clouds going around my house all summer long, and I've posted some of those. I'm gonna post some more where like the clouds are like they're lining up like on the horizon on each side of me, and all the way in the back and this side, and then in the front, like the clouds line up like across the horizon all the way around me. I had that happen several times during the last year. I mean, things have been really crazy. I took a trip to go to eat with my mom and my son the other day, and it rained all the way to where we're going, right? Rained all the way there. We went to Chili's, and then I'm gonna post this too. And then when we got there, you can see it's raining everywhere, and it's not raining above my head. So I've had that happen several times over the last year, and then several occurrences of that happening. And yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible thing. I mean, to witness this stuff, and then to witness like there'd be a storm behind my house, and it just sit there, and then it dissipate like right behind my house, like it was a fixture, like it just sat there the whole time. And I mean, I've got videos of that, doing that and stuff like that. But here's where it gets really interesting, right? So in the back of the Bible, it talks about ears, singular, right? And in the rest of the Bible, it says ears, plural, okay? Now, to you guys, it means something different than it does to me. I mean, because I have one ear, and I got the cross. That's a signal to me that ear in the back means something totally different than it means to you, right? So we can take a look at that. Now, it mentions it in Revelations 2, it mentions it 4 times. So for instance, it mentions it 2:7, He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give eat the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. All right, so that's the first one, right? But the second one, all right, is number 11. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt by the second death. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're at number 11, right? Right. Okay. So I'm going to skip ahead here. I mean, there's another one, at 17, and then there's another one at 29. It's the last one of each of 2 and 3. So I'm going to skip ahead here, and I'm going to go to Revelation number 3. All right, and then so we can see what it says here. So Revelation 3 says, number 6 says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Right? So it says that in 11 in Revelation 2, and then number 6 in Revelation number 3. Now, what a coincidence that it also references 11:6 in Revelations, right? So we can almost take that 11:6, and then with the waters turning blood red and stuff like that, and we compare that with the 1 ear, right? And we compare that. So it said 4 times in Revelation 2. It said 3 times in Revelation 3. It said in Revelation 2, it said in 7, 11, 17, and 29. It's the last one. And then in Revelation 3, it's 6, 13, and 22. Okay? So it's very interesting because the last one in both parts of the Revelation. So I just find this information beyond huge. Like, it's probably to me it's one of the biggest things I've ever found in the Bible so far as potentially tying me to this revelation with me having 1 ear. It's very interesting, and it's definitely, and how I figured it out was I was reading Revelation 13, and I saw 13, and he that hath an ear, let him hear, was number 9 spot, and number 13. So, if any man have an ear, let him hear. See, it's 1 ear, right? An ear, right? So check this out. So that's number 9, right? So what triggered me was I was born 9 pounds 9 ounces. So when I saw that, and that's the only thing that said there, and I was, I have 1 ear and stuff, and that's number 9, and I was born 9 pounds 9 ounces, and God died on the 9th hour, and I was born the same day that Jesus died, on the 14th. Now it's the 14th on the Jewish calendar, 14th on April, 14th April on our calendar. But I was born at 4:30. Now, that's exactly 1.5 hours after Jesus died. He died at 3 p.m. So, in some religions, that's considered when the soul leaves the body is an hour and a half later, right? So that makes it very interesting. It makes things very interesting. So I've also had a few more things happen recently. So on April 8th, on the 7th, Trump had threatened Iran and stuff like that. And then I wrote this 2 years beforehand on the 8th of April 2024. So I said, my bad, everyone. I thought the world was ending. False alarm. You can come out of your bunkers now. Now, I said this exactly 2 years earlier. All right. So if you want to call it prophetic, you want to call it whatever. This was due to something else, obviously, and the fact that I said it on the exact same, I would say the same thing on the exact same day, is pretty incredible, because that's God talking to us, right? So I'm mentioning it to you. I don't know. It means something to everyone. It doesn't just mean something to me. It means something to all of you, right? Because it's absolutely huge. It's God saying hi, right? Yeah, it sure is. It sure is, in a big way. So that's one of the big things that happened lately. Also, I read Romans to myself. Now, I told people I was going to read it. My buddy told me, a pastor of mine told me to read it. I read Romans 8 until the end of it. And then that same day, there was an earthquake, 7.7 over in Japan, and they probably get 1 or 2 of those a year, something like that, in the entire world. So I'd say it's a pretty rare occurrence, and I'd say it's a pretty interesting thing to happen. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of excited to see what's going to happen next, and where this leads us, where it takes us next. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to post, me being in the rainstorm and not being rained on the other day. I'll post that on YouTube and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to go over a few things with you today, and get your opinion on it. See what your thoughts are, being that the stars are kind of lining up on that Revelation 11:6. And plus, my son got the same cross on his leg a few years earlier in the same spot. So we've got... And there's 2 witnesses in Revelation 11. So there's a huge potential there for Revelation 11. There's a huge potential there, being that nobody else has gotten the same cross as we have. That has a significant meaning. And it does lead me to believe we're in Revelation 11. But plus, a lot of people didn't like me growing up. A lot of people... either jealous of me or whatever. So, plus I had 1 ear, so it's hard growing up and stuff like that. So, you can imagine the types of stuff I had to deal with. So it points out a lot of things to me in Revelation 11 that correlates, to me. So, I'm just trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to figure out where I belong and what God wants me to do. Obviously, He wants me to glorify Him, if I choose to, right? Because, and I obviously do. I think He's awesome, the end all be all, and I just want to share this good news with you guys, because it kind of is good news, I haven't been reading much, because I get too excited and then I can't sleep. But we'll start reading more. I'll start reading to you guys more. I kind of took a break from it for about a bunch of months, but I'm going to get back in the swing of things here shortly. But yeah, we've had things happen pretty much every time I read, so you guys can look up the history of the days I read and what's happened and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll talk more about it the next time we talk. So I appreciate each and every one of you on the planet. What are we at? Over 8 billion people now? Anyways, from Spark, get some.